Please welcome Kamala Harris.
Tonight on The Edge, Metro Detroit front and center in the race for the White House. Vice President Kamala Harris introduced by Oprah Winfrey tonight in Farmington Hills. It was a star-studded town hall with celebrities like Meryl Streep, Chris Rock, and Julia Roberts in the house virtually. Michigan, though, as you know, is an important battle state.
And the star of the show was, of course, VP Harris, who spoke about what's at stake in the election. Fox News' Dave Kinchin has more on her key visit to this battleground state.
Yeah, Big Gretch, Governor Gretchen Whitmer also getting a big shout out and a hug from the vice president. This was an event that was really quite, you could say, top secret. That would not be an understatement because we knew it was happening. We heard it was happening in Farmington Hills, but people were scouring across social media trying to figure out where exactly it was taking place. Turns out it was a production studio where this was all happening, lined with state police and even Detroit police coming out to Farmington Hills to help provide security in these escalating politically tense times.
Please welcome Kamala Harris.
Vice President Kamala Harris walking out to hundreds of supporters and into the arms of Governor Gretchen Whitmer before an embrace by media mogul Oprah Winfrey for a worldwide event called the Unite for America Rally, live streamed from the Studio Center production facility in Farmington Hills.
Madam Vice President, hello. Welcome to Michigan.
It's so good to be back. And Governor, thank you for everything you are and everything you do for the state. Thank you.
The event, supported by grassroots groups like Win with Black Women, Swifties for Kamala, and White Dudes for Harris, also featured an A-list of celebrities and everyday Americans taking up virtual seats.
I have to tell you, there's so much that I love about our campaign because it really is about the people. And I look around at these screens, Oprah, I look at who's in the room, and this is America.
Oprah led the discussion, focusing in on several hot-button issues like the increasing cost of living to abortion and battling her GOP rival, former President Donald Trump.
You know, there's so much at stake in this election, and ultimately the question before us is what kind of country do we want to live in? And the beauty of a democracy, as long as we can hold on to it, the beauty of a democracy is each of us has the power. Each of us has the power to answer that question.
That's right. Everybody on this call and beyond has the power.
Outside the live webcast, security was extra tight with Michigan State Police, Oakland County Sheriff's deputies, and even Detroit Police working with authorities in Farmington Hills in collaboration with the Secret Service as the feds face extra scrutiny following 2 attempted assassinations on Trump in recent months. Meantime, political observers tell Fox 2 the Harris-Oprah rally underscores how important the stakes are in Michigan.
Let me tell you, I'm getting calls every day on how people asking where's the campaign office, where can I get lawn signs?
And many of these groups that were involved with this event, they were really working they were congratulating themselves because a lot of what this came down to was groups that worked on Zoom and through social media to rally immediate support for the vice president in the hours, as little as 3 hours after she originally announced her campaign after President Biden decided to step out of this race. Now, this conversation also got a bit emotional when the subject of school shootings and gun violence came up. There were many misty eyes in the audience there, and the vice president's next stop is going to be a rally and an event in Atlanta where she talks about reproductive freedom. That's tomorrow. In Farmington Hills, Dave Kinchin on The Edge.
Yeah, Donald Trump and Kamala Harris may not have a lot in common. One thing they do have in common this campaign is they're not taking questions from anybody who is a challenging host. I mean, Oprah Winfrey was asking soft questions to Kamala Harris, and Donald Trump just last night was on Fox News, also being kind of hosted by people who were giving him friendly questions as well. The undecided and the independent voters, they want to hear about the issues, not just their life stories.
Yeah, that's right. They really want to know about what's going to happen with dealing with inflation, the cost of living, border security, the works, all of these issues. And it really was the same thing with the Trump town hall the other night in Flint, Michigan. Former President Trump took 3 questions, and they were largely from supporters.
Definitely rallying the base if that's what they're trying to do and getting them excited about this campaign nonetheless. But Michigan in play, as you know, Dave. for us here this campaign. Dave Kinchin for us live tonight. Thank you.
We've gathered today to talk about the scourge of anti-Semitism. My promise to Jewish Americans is this: with your vote, I will be your defender, your protector, and I will be the best friend Jewish Americans have ever had in the White House.
On the other side of the campaign trail, former President Donald Trump courting Jewish voters tonight at an event in Washington, D.C. Trump will be heading to North Carolina next, where recent polls show him and Vice President Harris are neck and neck.
Well, major update to the civil lawsuit against Oxford schools.
Now, the Michigan Court of Appeals moving to dismiss the case.
Everybody knew from the beginning of this case that its end goal was the Michigan Supreme Court.
The lawsuit comes in the wake of the deadly shooting at Oxford High School in 2021. The Court of Appeals ruling Oxford Community Schools and its employees have governmental immunity and can't be sued over the shooting. An attorney for the victims' families say there have been accountability for the shooter and his parents, and now it's time for the district.
Other states have recognized this. They've recognized that governmental immunity can deprive individuals of a right to a jury trial or of equal protection. But also other states don't have governmental immunity that exists nearly in the form that it exists in Michigan.
It's not clear yet if the Michigan Supreme Court will take up the case.
I lost 7.5 years of my life. Mr. Monson lost 21 years. We want accountability in the justice system right now.
They were exonerated years ago, but now they're fighting for others who are still behind bars. The group of men calling themselves Freedom Ain't Free, calling for an investigation into a retired Detroit police detective. Barbara Simon is accused of perjury, illegally detaining suspects and coercing them into making false confessions during the 90s and early 2000s. 4 men have been exonerated so far. One of them says the former detective should be placed in cuffs.
She did some evil things. If you look at my case was one that went after her credibility, and the judge cited that she gave false testimony, false imprisonment, and everything else. Now, if anybody else does that, they're arrested immediately.
He says prisoners still call him asking for help because the former detective worked their case. The Wayne County prosecutor says her office will be investigating.
Make no mistake, violent crime is down. It is down dramatically.
Detroit leaders announced some positive news in their fight against crime. So far this year, Detroit has seen 21% fewer homicides than last year, as well as a 25% drop in non-fatal shootings. Is partially thanks to One Detroit Violence Reduction Partnership, working to bring down crime in the city's 8th and 9th precincts.
Turning to the weather, just another day in paradise. Rich Luderman's job has been a little easier than usual lately. Warm and sunny almost every day.
What's there to say? It's like you said before, living in the South. But maybe some rain we're hearing.
Bring it. You know, we could see a scattered shower tomorrow evening, but a better chance for some wet weather down the road on Monday. Obviously, it's quiet out there right now. Notice there is a cluster of showers and storms over central Wisconsin. Looks like these are going to fizzle as they cross Lake Michigan. So we're going to stay dry for tonight and for tomorrow morning. It was a warm one today, 84 the official high here. Look at Chicago, 89 degrees for Fort Wayne and for Columbus, 89s. We again got 84, not even close to that record of 93. It is comfortable out there, but once again, we will likely see some areas of fog right now up around Port Huron. Some fog with visibility down around a mile. It's certainly mild to our west, 75 Chicago, 62 in Ludington. We are going to see a couple of weak systems try to come our way for the weekend. It is going to be warm for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but eventually we're going to see a stronger system bring us those showers for Monday. Patchy fog late tonight down to 61. Tomorrow back to 83. There'll be more clouds on Friday with a chance for an evening shower. Look at the warm weekend, 85 and 84. It is cooler next week. We'll check it for you starting at 4 a.m.
That was the sound that they heard as a SWAT team paid a visit to Southgate overnight. A 60-year-old man is now in custody, accused of shooting his neighbor and then killing his own dog. A violent encounter took place on Kerr Street near Fort and Northline. We're told the suspected gunman shot the man across the street several times because he was upset about loud music. The suspect then retreated to his own home where he killed his dog and barricaded himself from police. He surrendered to the SWAT team without incident just after midnight. The shooting victim was taken to the hospital in stable condition.
So around 5 o'clock, everybody was asleep, of course, and then you just heard a bunch of gunshots.
And one of those bullets nearly hit an Inkster police officer in the head. It was a close call today on Clink Street in the area of Henry Ruff and Annapolis. To find this dangerous suspect, police from several agencies joined the search and established a perimeter. Some officers escorted children to their buses for their safety. We're told the suspect was taken into custody.
Well, a funeral will be held tomorrow for fallen Michigan State Police Officer Dan Kerstetter. Services will be held in Grosse Pointe Farms at St. Paul and the Lake Catholic Church at 2 p.m. Kerstetter was killed last week during a traffic stop on I-75. He leaves behind a wife and 3 children. The governor has ordered flags to be lowered to half staff to honor his life. We'll stream tomorrow's funeral live online at fox2detroit.com.